Definitely, technology is something very important to understand, and more importantly, is how to integrate it within your business, so you can offer a better product, and you can offer a better service, and a safer service.
Saleh, welcome back to Spearlift.
Thank you for having me back, Devin. It's always a pleasure.
It's a pleasure.
To you and your audience.
Oh, thank you so much, Saleh. And first time that we spoke was back, I believe, end of March, beginning of April, around that time. And that's when the, coronavirus pandemic was really like kind of a new thing, and there was a lot of uncertainty, and you guys on that side of the world in the UK were already facing lockdown, as most places were. Some places were a little bit later, but you guys were under lockdown at that time, and this situation really just took everyone by storm immediately, and if people watched the first video with you, they'll know that you're a small business owner in Oxford, and you had to make a lot of adjustments quickly to try to just stay afloat as a business. So to start off, Saleh, we're now filming this in July, a few months after. So what have you learned the most since our first video, and what are some of the biggest takeaways as you as a small business owner with this whole situation going on in 2020?
So I remember when we spoke last time, we were just entering, or we were in lockdown, but the parameters wasn't very clear. Like, we didn't know how much, how long would it last for, what's the market gonna be like, would the government step in and subsidize the economy or not? There was a lot of hazy parameters. The way we, as a company, we went through it is, as I mentioned in the previous episode, by adapting very quickly. So when I spoke to you last time, I remember in March, end of March, we adapted online, and we were launching online, we'll set up online. And then 1 month after that, we were just listening to the market. And then we launched a takeaway only service, where we still can serve customers, but only to go. And in this way, we can serve the local community and our regular customers with what they like by, under very, very safe measures. And that was a breakthrough for us. That was really a breakthrough for us. It ended up being very, very, very successful. And slowly and gradually, I was able to recruit a team, a new team, and they're truly wonderful. Like, if they're seeing this, greetings to you guys. They're the heroes, man. So basically the process was what I've learned is that in such a market where the parameters and the rules change very, very quickly, you have to be on your feet, and you have to figure out new ways to kind of to offer your product under safe measures. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, and regarding that, Saleh, what are still some of the issues that are still persistent since that time when we first spoke, that are still obviously a big challenge right now as a business for you?
So the challenge is not over yet. Actually, it's just started. What all businesses gonna understand is that the economy post-COVID is not gonna be the same, and the parameters and market indicators, whatever industry you are in, after COVID is different than before COVID, and that's on all elements. So the demand is different, the expectations are different, compliance is different. So what I'm trying to say is that you would have to to almost redesign how you're going to offer your product.
Can you give an example?
So for example, right, like now we are allowed in the UK, the hospitality industry is allowed to open and start, having customers in. However, it's under very, the experience is not the same, under very, very restrictive / clinical measures where you gotta be wearing a face mask, your employees must be, served behind a shield. There is 1 meter, 1 meter advice space between each table. And more or less, you're really incentivized to take bookings, to take data from your customers, just in case if one happened to be infected, you can track and trace them, and then you can track and trace the people who were around them for more than 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. The challenge with that is in defiance with what hospitality is. When you go out and about in a cafe or in a restaurant, you want to you want to socialize,
Right.
You want to, so it's so that experience is gone.
Sad, no?
It's very sad. It's very, very sad because you cannot offer, like, it's true we are in the food industry and the coffee industry, but what we're really selling is the experience. It's the ambience, it's the buzz, it's the the fact that people just can catch up with each other, and so that's the essence. And in a way, you that can't happen very more, or it can happen, but under very, very controlled measures, which each business must comply with that. So, however, if you are creative, maybe you can still keep your customers safe. You can still comply, and try to basically try to redesign the whole experience so to comply with post-COVID.
How are you going to do that, Saleh? How are you going to do that with your particular business? How are you going to still create that buzz and that atmosphere? And again, just tell Spirit Lifters again, remind them, and especially new people, what your business is.
So I have a small coffee shop in Oxford, in Jericho area. Usually it's buzzing with life. It's we sell food, breakfast, brunches, coffee, you name it. So the way we've dealt with the situation is that we kept listening to the market. So despite the fact that there was a big buzz on opening on I think the 4th of July or the 2nd of July, we in fact did not open our doors. We continued exclusively with the takeaway service for one reason. I did not personally believe that the demand is there. The psychology of the public were not ready to come to and dine or have coffee indoors yet. And that's one of the things, like you gotta do as a business, is that you cannot dictate the market parameters. You listen to the market and you do what the market tell you. So that was one way of kind of learning about post-COVID, how we are going to try to replicate the experience. It's something still work in progress, but we definitely changed the layout of the tables. We're going to introduce a new booking system in place, where a family, for example, from the same household can enjoy a nice meal together, and still they can feel safe. I'm not gonna lie to you. It will never be the same for the next couple of months because you only can do so much, right? But as a business, we also, launching a new online brand. And in that way, we're hedging against a second wave if possible. So basically that's such an example on how, like in my industry, how would you deal with post-COVID economy? Like if you remember, Devin, back in March, we didn't know how long, would that take, right? But now I think we know it might take longer than we anticipated. So.
Well, and also with that, Saleh, I had two things. Well, I mean, when we say post-COVID, we're still in the spread of the virus. So, I mean, post-COVID is way in the future somewhere, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
But you mentioned this deeper integration technology with your business. How I assume that's going to be fundamentally imperative for you going forward with your business, So, and also you live in a part of the world where regionally, especially your winters are really cold and no one wants to go outside at all, So, with what we got going on, obviously now with this virus and how, the seasonality is in certain parts of the world, especially where you are, there's going to be severe adaptations to what you're doing. And you mentioned the online business. So I imagine, delivery and everything else is going to be a huge role for your business going forward.
Exactly. It's something that, we, like the online market is something that was always growing, right? For the last couple of years, it picked up online so much. So it always has been at the back of the company mind where, we wanted to get more market share of that, of online catering, basically. But now it's more urgent and more imperative that we introduce that, because in a couple of months, it can be a very good hedge against the unknown. And the pattern, like that we've learned for the last couple of months, is that when footfall falls on the street, it picks up online, and it's vice versa. When it's quiet online, footfall is high on the street, which totally makes sense. Like like if people are home, they're gonna order online, and if they're out and about, they would visit the shops, right? So definitely, and technology is not only in that, also data now is very important. Like you gotta learn more about your own business, what you're selling best, in what seasons. Like for example, would it be a good idea in summer just to get a creative salad menu that's packaged well, because obviously packaging now is crucial, because you can't serve in regular cutlery anymore, no at the moment. So it's all in all industries, and I feel like in all industry there's this certain adaptations that you would take, like with a lot of companies, the way in other industries, like in engineering and you name it, the way they have managed the fall in demand on the services by encouraging people to stay at home, right? So everybody wins. Everybody wins where people work from home, they have less office space. So I'm just trying to give you an example on how businesses can adapt and can learn what are the parameters that they need to counter in. And it can be temporary. We hope, all of us, it's only temporary, where a vaccine would be available and come back to life.
And supposedly where you live, that city's, or the particular institution there is on the forefront of development. So I mean, he may get it quicker than anybody. You know, I don't know.
Finger crossed.
Who knows? We'll see.
Who knows?
Saleh, what in general, like, because a lot of this is not forcing us, but like in a sense, it's allowing. Let's use the word allowing. It's allowing us to really stimulate modes of creativity with what we can do with our business as well, you know, product service wise, and how we offer that to clients. So we're talking a lot about technology. Obviously technology is most certainly going to play a huge role in a bigger role for our, you know, especially businesses going forward, and how we communicate, how we pay for things, etc. Right?
Yes.
It'll have an even you know, greater weight to it, you know, as far as how it's incorporated with our life. So have maybe not even so much technologically related though, do you think that there's certain other types of products or services that are forcing you to create right now that you can offer your clients that maybe never thought of before?
Absolutely. So now, for example, like just to relate, there is this apps available where customers can order from the table. So, you know, just get their phone and, you know, they just tap on your menu, you know, and that app is linked straight to your till. And then this is literally minimizing interactions between your customers, the staff, and other customers within a very closed environment, right? So technology definitely has been a key role for everybody to and how to get through this pandemic, and it was fascinating actually to see how quickly things are being developed and adapting technologically to support, you know, so many industries and so many businesses. So yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, and you know, there is a lot of apps there. There's a lot of even your suppliers, right? Like, so now Deliveroo, they introduced something just to because a lot of supply chains has closed because of lockdown. Deliveroo partners, you know, had an issue where they could not get supplies, you know, so what they've done, they integrated a supply chain within the app, so you can order. It's very easy. It's literally click, you get it next day. There were opportunities, I would say, in the technologically, and a lot of companies, they identified them and they acted very, very quickly on it. And there's a big thing now about how to order, you know, an SQR code menu, where you just, you know, click it on your phone, you see on the screen, you know, or you see it on on a display, you just snap it, and on your phone you would have the whole menu. So yeah, these things, we didn't think about them in last December. They were far away. Like, you know, even if somebody mentioned, I'd be like, why you want an app where you can order from your table? It just doesn't make sense. You know, somebody would just come and take your order, or you can come to the counter for a bit of, you can see the offer. But now it's imperative, and now it's very important. And I'm glad it's available. You know, it made my job so much easier, and it made people safer. And I feel a lot of other industries would definitely relate to that. Like, look, we're having Zoom meetings now, right?
Yeah.
This is how social media as well. Social media advertising has picked up so much. Like, now we almost solely rely on social media advertising, where, you know, back in the days it used to be leaflets, and but it was just because, you know, people are, you know, have more time, they're staying at home, you know, they're very engaged with social media. It's just easier to pass your message across. So yeah, Devin, definitely technology is something very important to understand and and more importantly, is how to integrate it within your business, so you can offer a better product and you can offer a better service and a safer service.
And what sort of technology are you looking to exploit more to further advance your business, or would you like to be using in the next few years that might greatly help you?
So for us, because we are in hospitality, there's only so much you can do with technology, and the reason why you want the experience to be as authentic as possible, and you want the human to the connection, human connection. However, what we would like to do in our business is to get an online loyalty system where it's all on your phone, you just tap it and it's done. What we would like to do is to get an online pre-order app where you can pre-order on your way and you just pick it up. So, and these are like small things, right? But they're very big for us because like a lot of big companies, they have the muscles to do that, but it's only the access is only becoming available to small businesses now. Which
well, why
is
that? What's holding that back?
So it's just the know-how, right? Like, so for example, like Costa Cafe or Starbucks, they introduced that like a year ago, and it's to develop something in-house like that. It's just very expensive. It's really, really expensive. The finance would not justify it. But now the know-how, is available to other companies where you can share that loyalty platform or that pre-order platform while it's still customized for your own business. So you can cut costs by, sharing that platform with other small businesses. And these IT companies are now available, and they were not like a couple of years ago. So this is definitely like, there is always a side where technology can catch up to you within the industry. Like, and you got to be very, very alert before COVID or after COVID or during COVID. So it's, yeah.
And let's talk about finance related things, Saleh.
Yeah.
And you don't have to run through your own personal numbers with this, obviously, but what, have you as a small business had more of an uptick now in general since the last time we spoke? And how would you recommend other small businesses, entrepreneurs, really pay attention to cash flow, in the next several months going forward and be aware of that issue?
That's very, very important. It's really important. Like, at the moment, it's about learning, what the about your market, and not taking so much risk on board. And it has to be managed very carefully. It's very important to be aware of your cash flow. We were very lucky here in England, where the government has done an outstanding job in funneling cash through the system and doing it very, very quickly. It's either via furlough scheme, which is the job retention scheme, or other financial instruments. And for the first time, they did not really engage the banks, the big banks. They just funneled it through employers who did, funnel the cash to their employees. So it was straight in the system. It was just so beautiful to watch. It was great. So we were very lucky here, but still we had to manage our, you got to keep a very close eye on what you're spending on and what is worth the risk and what is not. For example, like we got probably 40% off of our menu. We kind of encouraged long shelf kind of life drinks and products. And that's something you gotta think about. And you gotta manage your payroll more carefully than what you would, the way you would manage it in normal times. Absolutely, like you gotta pay very close attention to your cash flow moving forward until the economy is back to some form of regularity and some form of trend that then you can build your system on, right? The issue with designing a system is that if the input is always changing, if the demand is one day up, one day down, the system must adapt, right? And that was the case in the pandemic. Like, it was just really hard to learn a pattern. But obviously that would change, and once that changes, then you can go back to your normal practices, basically.
Yeah, no, it's really important what you're saying regarding that, and just learning how to mitigate that is just a huge deal, especially for people in your situation. So now, since the last time we spoke, and right now and going forward especially, your employees, are they feeling a bit more optimistic? Do they feel, personnel-wise, do they feel calmer with certain things? Is there more certainty for them and their own job? How is that relationship and dynamic with your own employees?
So luckily we didn't have to let anybody go, actually, which is something that, as a company, we're very, very proud of, that we didn't have to let anybody go. And in fact, we hired one member of staff extra. Not everybody back at work yet. Probably 30% of the employees are still on the job retention scheme. They are, and we announced 2 weeks ago that we will not have to let anybody go. We feel that the demand will be back in August, and we would open our doors in August. We brought a lot of our team back to work, so a lot of our team they're already back working for us from home, and they are less worried, I would say. They are less worried in terms of job security. They're less worried in terms of conducting the job itself, because it's very, we are in people's business, and we see more than, the average person. We see more people than the average person see throughout the day, just because of what we do. However, with the measures in place, with the new protocols in place, they feel more assured and safer, compared to back in March. We have been very, very lucky in terms of that, and I don't feel that we could have achieved that if we did not operate throughout the pandemic and try to navigate our way through it. And which is something. I'm very grateful for the people as well who helped me to kind of get the ship through April, May, and June. I had a wonderful team. Behind me who risked their lives every day coming into work, while others were just at home, and it was beautiful just to see just to see more coming back to work, coming from home back to work, and we could provide the jobs for them. It was just very, very nice.
Sure. It must just feel so uplifting for you to think that you can help provide that opportunity to somebody, especially in these times. No?
We were very, very worried. Like, if you remember in the interview back, there was a lot of uncertainty in our last interview. Yeah, and it was it's great to because look, man, like as a business owner or as an entrepreneur, one of your main jobs is to provide, like, what do we actually really do, right? What do we do? It's true, we create companies, create businesses, but mainly, like, you provide jobs for.
I think the audio froze a little bit.
When not
Saleh, if you could repeat just that last 15 seconds, because we froze a little bit. Do you
yes,
mind
absolutely. I was just elaborating on how important it is for any entrepreneur or any businessman to be able to keep jobs for people, and especially for your team who worked with you for the last 3 to 4 years. To see them go, it's very, very sad. So absolutely, we have a lot of pleasure in that. Yeah.
No, it's amazing. And so just to conclude our conversation today, going forward now, we have a little bit of this experience now with the virus under our belt, and through business, through personal way of life, through, several things. So there's still a lot to learn. There's still a lot to create, a lot to, just figure out what to do with our lives with the situation. But for you as a business, and for all of the business owners and entrepreneurs out there who would be watching or listening to this, what would be, your words of encouragement to them to really just stay motivated and keep going, despite how difficult things still may be, and going forward?
I would say be very creative. Listen to your market indicators. Listen to what's out there. What your customers want. Are they more concerned about safety? Are they more concerned about quality? Listen to that and design accordingly and accelerate. Repeat the process. That's how I would do it, and this is how I plan to move forward. Is that I don't know all the answers, but I will tell you one thing for sure, is that I will be listening, and I will be checking out what my customers want, and I will be making sure that they get the best experience. And I feel like this, this might sound weird, but I do feel like there might be opportunities out there just because the parameters are changing. Big companies are going bust. A lot of companies are being born every day, providing sanitizer solutions, contactless kind of, like a lot of new companies actually, leveraged on that. So opportunities are out there, and it's just about the way you look at your perception, basically. It's going to be hard. It's going to be very hard. But yeah, keep the faith.
Excellent. Very, very good words of advice, Saleh. And, I continue to wish you the best of luck with your business in Oxford. And
thank you, Devin.
And just continual adaptation, growth, implementation of creativity, and the best for you and your employees, just to create Opera House, which is the name of your business, into a global empire, in a whole.
Wow.
And so where can Spear Lifters find information about your business?
If they just go, we are all over social media. So if they go on Opera, just search for Opera Cafe Oxford on Facebook or Instagram, we'll be definitely there. E-commerce website is launching hopefully soon. Finger crossed. So yeah.
So I can get your lovely food down here in Mexico City shipped to me within a week, right?
We'll try. Might be a little bit cold though, but still edible.
I'm willing to take that risk.
No?
No,
sure?
I am. Yeah. I'm willing to try it no matter how cold or how stale it gets. Because
it would be actually
like
very good to have you back in Oxford, Devin. For a small
I'll go by boat. You know, I want to take the scenic route. Saleh, thank you so much again. This was a pleasure to speak to you after a few months of our initial interview, and let's see where we are in a few more months. It would be great to have you back again.
Thank you, Devin, for having me back, and greetings to your audience. It's always a privilege and amazing catching up with you. And hopefully we speak in a few months on a more positive outcome, you know, and the world would be in a better place.
Absolutely. And Spear Lifters will include all of Saleh's information in the video description below, and we'll see you in the next episode.
See you, Spear Lifters. Thank you. Thanks, Devin.